This is Tin Caps Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back to Tin Caps on Deck, as always presented by Hoopy Insurance Services. Prior to this Friday night matchup here at Parkview Field for your Fort Wayne Tin Caps, taking on the Lake County Captains. Kavares Tears, our pregame guest here tonight. KT, 454 feet. Your homer registered at yesterday. Your second in as many games. What were you looking for in that at-bat? What did you see?
I'm just looking for something out over the heart of the plate that I could, do some damage on. And I was fortunate enough that I think after 2 strikes, he got me the first time with a fastball, and then went slider, and it was 2 strikes, just trying to put a good swing on something I can get out, over the heart of the plate, and I was able to hit it pretty good. So, yeah.
5th home run of the season. That's the longest recorded distance on a home run hit by a Tin Cap here in 2026. Out of your 5 home runs, 3 of them have come against Lake County. What is it about Captain's pitching?
I will say I think, I'll get a few more pitches over the heart of the plate, I think. When I control my at-bat instead of let them control it, I think I put myself in better positions to be able to get those pitches, and when I do, I think it's my job just to, be able to do damage on them.
Along with your home run yesterday, you tripled in the 9th inning. You have 4 extra base hits in your last 3 games, including that triple at South Bend on Sunday. What's been the approach for you in the box this last half week or so?
For me, just staying through the ball. For me, an easy thing when I'm going bad and having my struggles is I'm pulling off the ball pretty fast. So when I'm going through my drill work and preparing for the game, I just try to, stay as mindful as possible on, my staying through the ball and swinging through instead of swinging around it.
And keeping that in mind, you've been spraying the ball really all over the place in the last few weeks. How confident are you just in the box right now as things have been progressing?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Going in the box, and I think for me, it's just the biggest thing is just staying there and stay consistent in my process and what I'm doing, and I guess not be so honed in on the results specifically, but more the process and everything, and enjoying that, and just allowing the fun to happen, and let the rest take care of itself.
Post game yesterday, talking to the media, you mentioned that just some of the changes that you've made, trusting your eyes, trusting your abilities, more on the physical side of things a lot more, and not really thinking as much. Just talk about that and that side of your mentality at the plate.
Yeah, I think early in the season I haven't started exactly how I would like to, and when that happens, I think it's very easy to get in your head and try to I guess freak out a little bit and try to perfect every little thing you think is wrong. But I talked to our one of our hitting coordinators this past week while we were in South Bend, and I basically just got back to just being an athlete. When I'm just trusting my instincts and trusting my eyes, and whatever my eyes are telling me to do, then I usually find myself in a better position than when I'm trying to use my brain so much.
Over 2 months into the season now, you spent all last year with Lake Elsinore in the Cal League. Everyone always talks about the adjustment and the jump from Cal League pitching here to the Midwest League. Now that you've seen Midwest League pitching for 2 months, how can you speak in that? How can you attest to that?
I think the important thing for hitters, I would say, in this league is you just have to stick with your approach, and sometimes you have to be okay with striking out on pitches that are in the zone or that are dotted, or the pitches you're not looking for. But I think I've learned that, I for myself get in trouble a lot when I go away from my plan. So when I start trying to do a bunch of different stuff than what I've been preparing myself to do, then I usually find myself in a hole. So just having a plan and staying with it and trusting the process through it.
Your hitting coach here in Fort Wayne, Jerry Downs, a guy you had working with you in your corner as the hitting coach last year at Lake Elsinore. How has that relationship continued to blossom over the course of the season so far?
I think it's obviously grown, with every game, and we learn something new about each other, and he learned something new about how I like to play, and how I like to train and prepare, and then also learn stuff about how he is and the ways he tries to help us prepare and make sure that we're ready to go into the box.
Lake County this week, your college teammate Dean Curley, the shortstop for the Captains. Second time you guys have played Lake County out of 4 total series this season. You just caught up with him at the end of batting practice here today. What's it like seeing him on the other side?
It's awesome. A few years ago when we're all going through the struggle and having those long early mornings and long nights, and trying to get to where we are right now, I think it's it's kind of surreal to see somebody that you kind of went through the struggle with to get to the position. That he's on the other side. before and after games, it's all friendly. But once we get in between the lines, it's I don't really know him like that. So.
At the end of batting practice today, you guys split into two teams, and Johnny Matthews having you square off an exit velocity challenge. Who's hitting above 95 miles per hour, something different that we haven't seen all year. Just talk about the competition among this group. You guys seem like such a tight team through and through, and just the fun that you guys had today.
Absolutely. I think with the competition that we were doing, I think, it's the exit velos, but I guess when you really look at it, the main focus is getting the pitch that you can do the damage with. So, it's, we had a certain amount of swings that we had to get in. And you only got one round, so you had to be very, smart and precarious about what pitch you're getting and what pitch you want to, hit 95 plus. And when it comes to, teammates and stuff like Lamar and Zach and Alex and a bunch of those guys, I was with a lot last year in Lake E, and we've been through camps together, and we hang out pretty much. We're here every single day, and then before and after the games, we're always hanging out and stuff. So. I think a lot of the bonding and chemistry that we formed off the field is starting to show up on the field, and, it makes it a lot more fun.
Andy Ockham here with Kavares Tears prior to first pitch on this Friday night. One last question for you. You guys looking to get back in the win column after dropping the last two. You got Cash Mayfield going tonight. What does this group need to do to get the job done?
I think we just need to be our best behind Cash. Cash is going to go out and he's going to do what he do, and for us, I think it's just putting more runs up on the board than what they have. So I think if we do that and just play good defense behind them, I think we'll be in a really good position.
KT, appreciate your time, man.
No problem. Thank you.
Lineups and first pitch coming up next right here on the Tin Caps Radio Network.
Podcasts by Federated Media.